What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another predicted lineup video, but not any predicted lineup. It is the North London derby tomorrow, 4:30 kickoff at the Emirates. It is the big one, Arsenal away. How you feeling coming into this one? You still confident?
Yeah, quietly confident, but you know Arsenal are probably going to raise their game for this one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think we obviously need the points more than they do. That's just that's just reality of the situation. But that could also make them play with extra
depends which way you want to look at it, because they definitely need the points.
Yeah, they need the points,
but their season's over.
Exactly, they kind of need the points to kind of save their season. We need the points because we're challenging for the top four. It could take the pressure off, and it also means that they could be more expressive. Maybe they'll come out for the win, but. We need to be on our A game, but we have a lot of players in our squad who know what the North London derby means, and I think Mourinho, he also knows exactly what the derby means. He has a great record against Arsenal, and he won't want to give that up easily. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be a very intense game, and I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's start off with the team news.
Yeah.
And what is the team news?
So it's just, same as pretty much the last game. Lo Celso. Well, we don't know about Lo Celso. To be honest, he didn't really go much into team news because it was the embargoed press conference, so it was actually from yesterday as opposed to anything updated. But I assume Lo Celso's still out, and obviously Rodon becomes available because it's not Europa League anymore. So a fully fit squad, pretty much.
And same with Arsenal as well. They're at full strength as well.
Also have no injuries.
It's probably the first time I can remember that two fully fit Tottenham and Arsenal squads go head to head, because there's always seems to be some sort of niggling injuries.
Yeah, usually at some point of the season.
But look, let's get into the predicted lineup. We're going for a 4-2-3-1 as always. In goal, Hugo Lloris.
Has to start.
Let me just mention that these predicted lineups, you can tell when we're on form when we don't have to tinker around too much and we actually know what the lineup is. I don't know if you guys remember, but back when we were back on form all those months ago, you guys thought our predicted lineups were pretty predictable, and it's probably going to be around that way again. So let's just get back into it. Right back, Serge Aurier.
Yeah, well, this is one of the only contentious ones because Doherty obviously played quite well against Palace and played quite well against Fulham as well in both those games, and Mourinho even calling his performance impeccable. But Aurier came in, who's definitely been the better right back throughout the season, and he had a pretty good game against Zagreb on Thursday. And I think Aurier is more suited to this one with his pace, with his aggression. You don't want to be allowing whoever plays on the left-hand side for Arsenal any space to breathe. So Aurier needs to start, but he could start Doherty because he's had a bit of a rest.
Yeah, and also like the good performances from Doherty. Nothing on the good performances from Serge. They're completely night and day. You know what I mean? Like the two performances Doherty's just had compared to the performances that Aurier had in the Europa League, you can't compare, can you?
Of course not. And but yeah, I 100% agree with that. Aurier is just a lot better going forward. I think he's a lot more aggressive, and he doesn't get caught out as much because he's got much better physicality. But it remains to be seen what Mourinho's going to do. I hope he goes Aurier, and we're going to go Aurier, but there is a chance he could go Doherty.
Yeah. Left back, Sergio Reguilon back in the side. He's going to be so important this game, isn't he?
Very important. Most likely up against Bukayo Saka, and that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup because Saka's been Arsenal's most informed player this season, especially of late. And Reguilon has just come back into the team. He had a fantastic game against Palace. He was all over that left-hand side, completely dominating it. And he's going to have to do that again if we're going to get something out of this game.
Yeah, definitely. And then the centre-back positions, we're going to stick with Toby and Sanchez, the inform duo, really.
Yeah, Sanchez keeps his place. He's played the last 5 games, only conceded 1 goal. Toby got a rest on Thursday, so he definitely comes back in for this one, and they're our most settled pairing at the moment. So we have to stick with it, and hopefully Sanchez can keep up his good form. And Aubameyang with his pace is going to be a big threat, but Sanchez hopefully can stop him.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a back 5 of Hugo Lloris, Reguilon left back, Aurier right back, Sanchez and Toby in the middle. Double pivot. We're going for, the informed players as well in Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, the general, and Tanguy Ndombele beside him.
Yeah. No-brainer. No-brainer.
Really
Ndombele also had a good game on Thursday, although he took quite a beating, I would say, a few times on the floor. But I think he definitely has to start this one. He's going to be so crucial in that middle, and him and Højbjerg, definitely our best pairing, up against probably most likely Xhaka and Partey, who themselves have their own strengths. But I think if Højbjerg and Ndombele are on top of their game, there's only one winner in that midfield battle.
I mean, Tanguy up against Xhaka. Tongi's got to look at yellow card.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
I agree with you. He's got to be targeting him, someone he can easily breeze past, because Xhaka's notoriously not a very good tackler, is he? So you got to say, Ndombele's got to be licking his lips at the prospect of facing Xhaka. But Partey, if he's on top of his game, he's going to be a real force to be reckoned with in this game. Yeah. But hopefully he can be a bit off it, like he has been most of the season.
All right. So the middle two is Højbjerg and Ndombele. Left-hand side of the attack is going to be Heung-min Son, as always. Right-hand side of the attack is going to be Gareth Bale.
Yeah, he only had 20 minutes on Thursday, and he had a pretty good cameo again. He's been the form player. He's the one question mark for me, actually, in terms of, not the one question mark, but he is a question mark in terms of, yes, he's been great, and obviously I would start him because I think the chance of him coming up with something magic, or even a couple of goals, is fairly decent. So it's worth the risk. But when you play Gareth Bale, you do risk Kieran Tierney, who is a very attacking left back, having a bit too much space and bit too much free reign on that left-hand side. And Gareth Bale, notoriously isn't the best at tracking back. He's not exactly going to be like a Lucas or a Lamela when he's tracking back. And on the flip side, when pressing, he'll press, but it's not going to be as intense as like when Lamela presses or when Lucas presses. So
you know what? I was saying on the show, on the live stream we did yesterday, I was saying that Lamela should have a chance to start because the way Arsenal's defence crumble under the pressure, with Lamela, a Lucas and a Sonny in there giving so much pressure into the defence, it might work in our favour.
I agree with you. I wouldn't be that upset if it is Lamela starting, because I think he's in great form and he offers that different dimension. However, Bale is in just such good form. I don't think you can leave him out of the form he's in. Even though if it does let Tierney free a bit, the chance of, first of all, it could do the opposite, because it could pin Tierney back, because if they could be very worried by the threat of Bale, because if Tierney isn't on him and lets Bale free, then Bale has obviously got the capabilities of getting two or three goals or getting assists and stuff. So it could also have the opposite effect. And I think it's just, there's a balance, there's a risk to reward kind of thing. Could you let Tierney a bit free, but then you got the chance of having Bale on the pitch and creating stuff? And I think it's worth the risk. So I think I'd go for Bale.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why we've gone for Bale. But also it's worth noting that Lamela, with a great performance on Thursday night, did still go off really early.
He did, and he'll be a great option to come on. I think if he, on the off the bench, if say Bale does start to tire and he gives his all for an hour and does track Tierney back, and then you bring on Lamela for the last half an hour, he could also make a real impact. So it's not bad options to have. But I think we just go with Bale with this one.
All right.
I think you have to.
Yeah. And then in the number 10 position, we're going to go for Lucas Moura. I think he's made that spot his own at the moment.
Yeah, I think you can't drop him the way he's playing. I think Dele Alli didn't exactly do anything on Thursday to show me that that he's desperate to play in this game, or that he's in good enough form, although he had a good game against Fulham. I think Lucas, with his pressing, with his dribbling ability, I think it's a no-brainer. I think he's added a new dimension there in that number 10 for himself and for the team, and he does a lot of the running of the forward line as well, so he has to start Lucas Moura for sure. And I think he could be a real thorn in the Arsenal side.
Yeah, and especially what I was saying before is if you really pressure the Arsenal defence, they will crumble, and Lucas Moura will be pivotal in that.
And he's very different to like the number 10 Odegaard is, for Arsenal, or Smith Rowe, who either of them will likely start, because with Odegaard you get the feeling if you just like man mark him, you can kind of mark him out of the game, stop him from passing, and then you've kind of marked Odegaard. You can't really do that with Lucas because he's such a good dribbler. Like, maybe his final ball or he might be a bit wanting, and he's not going to pick a lock, but what he'll do is he'll commit players, he'll create space, he's going to create a bit of chaos in there, and that's exactly what Arsenal don't like, is chaos. Yeah. That's what they suffer with, and that could be a real source of success. I know,
that's why I keep saying in the build up to this game, I think Lucas Moura is going to be so vital.
I think he could be really. I agree with you.
And then up front, obviously the main man, Harry Kane, top goal scorer in North London derbies. But look, that front three, if we go with it, Bale, Kane, Son. I'm just talking about those three players. Yeah. Bale, Kane, Son. They've all got pedigree against Arsenal in North London derbies, don't they? Yeah,
they've all got a good record. They all know, especially Kane and Bale as well, they know exactly what it means, how much this North London derby means, and they're going to be well on top of it. They're going to be well up for this game. I'm so sure of that. And they would love nothing more than to score a winner at the Emirates or get a goal at the Emirates in a win. So if Bale, Kane and Son all start together, I'm really looking forward to that prospect at the Emirates, and I think it could really give their back line no end of problems. I really believe that.
And obviously Bale knows what it is to win at the Emirates. He was there when we last did it in the Premier League. I don't think Harry Kane was even playing when we won at the Emirates in the Cup, was he?
He came on because he got
came
that
on,
assist for
right.
Delhi,
Yeah,
didn't
that's
he?
right, yeah.
He came on
came on.
after like an hour or something. So he did win. He was part of that win. But yeah, I mean, I think Ndombele get to play a game against Arsenal. This should be his first game as well, so that's going to be exciting to see. But I'm really excited to see the prospect of that front three up against the Arsenal backline. I know they're not, like, individually they've been okay, but they've made a few mistakes. But actually in the league they haven't conceded too many more goals than us. It's only one or two more goals, so it's not that different.
They went through a big period of not conceding like we did.
Yeah, but I just if you get the feeling, if you get Kane, I get the feeling that because the pressure's off them and they're going to go for a bit of I reckon they're going to go for it. They're going to go for the win because they kind of, why not? I think that could play into our hands a bit in terms of having Kane, Bell and Son there, and a bit of that it being really hard to contain for them.
But even if they're going for the win, they're still going to be very wary of our front three, front four, because they know the qualities that they pose. So they obviously can't go too gung-ho because they know what will happen to them if they do. But look, that is our predicted lineup. Let me just run through it with you one more time. So that's Hugo Lloris in goal, Serge Aurier right back, Reguilon left back, a back two of Toby and Sanchez, Højbjerg and Ndombele in the double pivot, Son on the left, Bale on the right, Lucas in the middle with Harry Kane up top. You sticking with your predictions?
I said 3-2, and I'm going to stick with that. I think we'll get there's goals, definitely be goals in there for us. I back us to get a few. I think Arsenal will also breach our back line a couple of times, but I think we'll scrape the win.
It's going to be a good game.
I think it'll be an entertaining game.
Like a really entertaining game.
I think it will. There is a chance we might stink the place out and go for a 1-0, but I have a feeling we're going to be much more offensive than people think we are.
To be honest, I don't really mind either way. As long as we get those 3 points this weekend, I don't care how it is. It can go off Aubameyang's backside in a 1-0 win.
Look, Arteta's been Mourinho'd a couple of times. Let's hope it's 3-3.
All right, so there you have it. That is our predicted lineup. Join us tomorrow for the big day, the live watch long. Arsenal against Tottenham at the Emirates, 4:30 kickoff. We'll be going live from 4 o'clock, and then after that, it is your chance to have your say on the post-match fan show. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.